This is the video tutorial for quiz for section 1.7, solving absolute value equations. We'll start with number 1 here. We've got the absolute value of 2x plus 3 equals 13. Whenever you're solving these, you have to set the whatever is inside the absolute value equal to the other side, to the positive and negative. So I'm going to say 2x plus 3 equals 13. And then also 2x plus 3 equals negative 13. So now that I've done that, now I'm going to solve each equation individually. So 2x plus 3 equals 13. Start with the plus 3. So that's going to go minus 3 and minus 3. Whenever I do that, the plus 3 and the minus 3 will cancel. And that is going to leave us with 2x on the left side. 13 minus 3 is 10 on the right side. Now that's 2 times x, so I do the opposite. I divide by 2. Divide by 2. The 2's cancel. And that leaves us with x equals, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that will be one of your answers for number 1. Now I need to find the second answer. Do the exact same process. Got to get the x by itself, so that's a plus 3. So I say minus 3 and minus 3. The positive 3 and the negative 3 cancel. That leaves us with 2x equals, and then negative 13 and negative 3 is a negative 16. That's 2 times x, so I divide by 2. Divide by 2. The 2's cancel, leaves us with x equals, and then negative 16 divided by 2 is a negative 8. Now I need to check the answer on this one. So I'm going to take the 5 and I'm going to substitute it back in. So 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. Absolute value of 13 is 13. So number 5 does check out. On the second one, negative 8, do the same thing. Check it back into the original. So plug it back into the x. So 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus 3 is negative 13. And the absolute value of negative 13 is 13. So that one checks out as well. We now move on to number 2. I'm going to set it up the same as we did before. I've got 4x equals absolute value of 2x plus 6. So I'm going to take whatever is on the inside and I'm going to set it equal to both the positive and the negative 4x. So I'm going to say 2x plus 6 equals 4x. And then I'm also going to set it equal to 2x plus 6, and that's going to equal a negative 4x. So I set it equal to a positive and a negative 4x. Now I'm going to solve it for x, and since I have x's on both sides this time, I've got to get my x's together. So I'm going to go minus 2x and minus 2x. I'm going to do that. The 2x and the negative 2x cancel. That leaves us with 6 on the left, and that leaves us 4x minus 2x is 2x on the right. So now I need to get the x by itself, so that's 2 times x. So I'm going to divide by 2 and divide by 2. The 2's cancel. And then that's going to leave us with x equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that is our answer for the first answer for number 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to my second problem over here. So I want to do the same process. I want to get my x's together. So that's a positive 2. So I take minus 2x minus 2x. So the 2x and the negative 2x cancel. Leaves us with 6 on this side. Now I have a negative 4x and a negative 2x. They're both negative, so we have like signs, so we add, and that gives us a negative 6x. Now I want to get the x by itself, so I divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6. The negative 6 and the negative 6 cancel, and that leaves us with x equals, and 6 divided by negative 6 is a negative 1. And that is your answer for this side. Now we need to check both the solutions. So I'm going to take the 4x, so I'm going to say 4, and I'm going to substitute in the answer. So 4 times 3 equals, so 4 times 3 equals, and that's the absolute value of 2. Now for the x, I'm going to substitute in the 3, and then I have the plus 6 inside the absolute values. So we'll work this out. 4 times 3 is 12. That equals 2 times, and that's 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So that's the absolute value of 12. So 12, and the absolute value of 12 is 12. So that one does work out. So x equals 3 is a good solution. Now I'm going to do the same process with our x equals negative 1. So I'm plug it back into the original problem. So that's going to be 4 times, and for the x I'll replace the negative 1. So it's going to be 4 times negative 1 equals absolute value of 2 times, replace that with negative 1, and then I still have the plus 6. Work it out. 4 times negative 1 is a negative 4. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4. So we have the absolute value of 4. And the absolute value of 4 is 4. So since 4 does not equal negative 4, this is an extraneous solution. So for this one here, and I'm just going to shorten it to extraneous solution. So x equals negative 1 is an extraneous solution. That is your answer for number 2. Now move on to number 3. I'm going to take the whatever's inside, so the 3 minus 2x, so 3 minus 2x, and set that equal to the positive 5 minus x, and then I'm going to take the 3 minus 2x and set that equal to the negative, so I'm going to change that to a negative 5 and also change that to a positive x. Change both signs to account for the negative. So negative 5 and a plus x. Now we can go ahead and start solving. I got x's on both sides, so I'm going to take this negative 2x and go plus 2x to both sides. The negative 2x and the positive 2x cancels, leaves us with 3 equals 5, and negative 1x and positive 2x gives us a positive 1x. So now I want to get the x by itself. So I'm going to go minus 5, minus 5. The 5's cancel. 3 minus 5 is a negative 2, equals 1 times x is just x. So the answer there is just x equals negative 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve on the other side as well. So I'll get my x's together again. So I'm going to say plus 2x, plus 2x. The 2x's cancel, leaves us with 3 equals negative 5. 1x plus 2x is 3x. Now I'm going to solve this for x, so I got to get the x by itself, so I'm going to get rid of that 5, so I'm going to say plus 5 and plus 5. The 5's cancel. That leaves us 3 plus 5 is 8 equals 3x. So now I got 3 times x, I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3. The 3's cancel, and that leaves us with x equals 8 divided by 3 will not reduce evenly, so I just leave it 8 divided by 3. Now I'm going to check them, I'm just going to plug back in. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, so 3 plus 4 is 7. Absolute value of 7 is 7. 5 minus a negative 2 is 5 plus 2, which also gives us 7. So the first answer, the x equals negative 2, is a good answer. Now I'm going to check the number 8 over 3. So that's going to be 8 thirds times minus 2, so that's going to give us a negative 16 over 3. Common denominator would be 9 over 3, so 9 over 3 minus 16 over 3 is going to give us a negative 7 over 3. Now substitute on the other side, and that's going to give us 15 over 3 minus 8 over 3, which is also 7 over 3. So the 8 thirds is also a good solution when I check them. We now move on to number 4. Since this number 4 has a 6 out here on the side, I need to get rid of the 6 so that I can get the absolute value by itself. So I'm going to take this plus 6 and I'm going to go minus 6 from both sides. So when I do that, the 6's cancel, and that leaves us with the absolute value of 2 over 3x minus 6 equals to 18 minus 6 is 12. So now the absolute value equals a number, so now I can go ahead and set them up in two separate. So I'm going to take this up, take what's inside the absolute value, the 2 thirds minus 6 equals 12. And on the other side, I'm going to go 2 thirds x minus 6 equals the negative 12. Now I start to solve, so I want to get rid of the 6 and get the x by itself, so I go plus 6 and plus 6. The 6's cancel. That leaves us with 2 over 3x, and then 12 plus 6 is 18. Now I need to get rid of that 2 thirds, so I'll multiply by the reciprocal, so 3 over 2 and 3 over 2. 3's cancel, 2's cancel. That leaves us with x equals, and 3 times 18 is going to be 54. Since there's not a denominator, that would be 1, so 1 times 2 would be 2, so 54 over 2, and that reduces down to be 27. So x equals 27 for this one. Now do the same process on the next one, so I'm going to get rid of the negative 6, so plus 6 and plus 6. The 6's cancel, which leaves me with 2 over 3x, and the negative 12 and 6 is a negative 6. Have to get rid of the 2 thirds again, so I'll multiply by the reciprocal, 3 over 2, which cancels 2 and 2, cancels, and leaves us with x equals, oh sorry, forgot to multiply by the other side, 3 over 2 on the other side as well. And that's going to give us negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Negative 18 divided by 2 is a negative 9. And that is your answer for this side. So check on back in. 27 times 2 is going to be 54. 54 divided by 3 is 18. 18 minus 6 is 12. Absolute value of 12 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. So that one works. Same thing on the negative 9. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. Negative 18 divided by 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 is a negative 12. Absolute value of negative 12 is a positive 12. So then we have 12 plus 6 gives us 18. So both 27 and negative 9 are good solutions. And that concludes the video tutorial for quiz section 1.7.